And we are live. Welcome to Redbird Redzone podcast. My name is Will. You can find me on Twitter at LiveOnThatSwing. Joining me today, I've got my two spectacular co-hosts. Why don't you two introduce yourselves?
What's up, everyone? I'm Mac. You can find me on Twitter at AZSportsFien. That's FIEN.
And what's going on, y'all? This is Jackie. You can find me on Twitter at JSanDiego. That is with two O's. And we are gathered here today to actually celebrate a win. Not a very exciting win. It's the Patriots. We should have won this game. I unfortunately did not watch any of it. I was on a flight. So I'm going to be letting kind of Mac and Will steer the ship a little bit. I'll give my 2 cents. I did see the box scores, and apparently what I saw on the box score is kind of different than the eye test. Why don't you elaborate on that, Will?
I thought we played a very sloppy game, all things considered. We took too long to pull away. I thought Kyler still made his usual weekly mistakes. I thought that interception bailout was incredibly lucky. We got incredibly lucky at the goal line. I mean, we played some good ball when it counted, but I mean, we can't have this kind of mentality going into these final few weeks. It was a very frustrating game, and I don't know if it bodes well for this weekend and beyond.
Well,
what do you think, Mac?
We're playing your Panthers this weekend, so hopefully
I'm telling you, man, there is bad juju in the air. I don't like this. It's too perfect of a situation, and the Cardinals flunk perfect situations like they're fucking math tests. It's too perfect. Their D lines beat to hell. Nobody believes in them. I was listening to Carolina Sports Talk Radio this week in Charlotte. You want to know what they were talking about every time I listened? Fucking Tar Heels basketball and football. They don't care. They're checked out. The Onion made a fucking article dissing them. This is a team that should feel like victimized and should feel like an underdog, and that is a nasty thing to go against in the National Football League.
Yeah, I mean, the Panthers are – I mean, I would have felt a little bit more scared before they got blown out by the Cowboys. Not scared, but they were showing a lot more signs of life, playing the Chiefs tough, Tampa, and the Eagles, and then – so, I mean, I don't think it's going to be, a cakewalk or we're going to roll over them. But just like the Patriots, if you're not playing well enough, the Patriots can still get you. And the Cardinals did what they had to do. They ran the ball. James Conner, over 115 yards, I believe. And they shut down the Patriots offense for the most part. But I was kind of looking forward to seeing how Drake May would perform since he's been getting a lot of hype since he's been entered as the starting quarterback there in New England. But the Cardinals did an overall good job. I mean, he was like 19 for 23, so he was fairly efficient, but didn't put up like barely 200 yards, one of his lowest passing yardage games of the season. So it's going to be interesting. Cardinals still have to show up. I mean, we're still in the playoff hunt somehow. And it is what it is at this point, but I am looking forward to the Cardinals going into Carolina, going into Los Angeles these next 2 weeks and seeing if they can come home on a 3-game winning streak and, seeing what might be there if there is a shot at the playoffs.
I mean, I hope you're right, but I feel it's just some nasty juju in the air. I already don't like that we're on prime time for that Rams game. That feels like some bad juju. I don't know.
I'm not feeling too hot about being on prime time like that. I forgot what our record is with Kyler Murray in primetime games. It's not very promising. And the last time we saw.
What time is that game at? December.
Primetime, 6:30 LA time. Plus, it's a short week, and we're flying from Carolina to LA. It's not very optimal.
Let me see.
Is the Rams Jets game, is that in LA or is it in New York?
I believe it's in New York.
Okay, well that puts us on an even playing field, I guess.
I mean, you just got to win 1 week at a time. So it wasn't pretty, like you mentioned, against the Patriots. Kyler Murray did not throw a touchdown. Trey McBride still has 0 touchdowns. Marvin Harrison dropped a would-be touchdown. I mean, it was a good play by Christian Gonzalez, but it's still the fan base, you can tell, is still frustrated. Specifically, I think about the passing offense is fair. I mean, you're expecting a lot more. A lot of people hyped up the skill position group heading into the season. But I mean, at the end of the day, your rookie wide receivers, your number one. You have an all-pro type tight end, and then you have a good running back in James Connors. We should be seeing probably a little bit more. But when your wide receiver one is a rookie, I mean, you're going to have growing pains, especially when you don't. I mean, it's here we are, 15 weeks later, but when you don't run your guys out for preseason, I think it just from there it just has not seemed to be cohesive whatsoever, which is disappointing considering we have 3 weeks left and basically had the playoffs in our grasp and we let it slip out of our hands, losing to a goddamn shitty fucking Seattle Seahawks team who got boat raced this fucking weekend. So I don't. It's disappointing. Like I'm still mad. Like even driving around this week, like even after that win, I'm not happy. If you would have won one of those games, you had Minnesota all fucking game, and then you give it to them fucking at the end. I mean, it just you win one of those 3 games, it feels so much different as an Arizona Cardinal fan.
Absolutely. I feel your frustration because at one point we were in control of our destiny. Now we're week 15, hoping other teams lose out. And that's not a position that you want to be.
Right.
And because we've, dug ourselves in such a hole, I feel like if it does really come down to that Rams game, like the pressure is going to be on and this team's really young. Outside of Kyler Murray, if he can be great, like you said, we have a rookie wide receiver as wide receiver one. He doesn't have that vet savvy to make the plays that he should make. And then I'm not confident in our pass game. I'm not confident in Drew Petzing's play call. I'm not very happy about Gannon's aggression and some of that decision making. So I'm already kind of set up, as much as I want to be positive. I'm already in the mindset of we're just not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
and I hate to say that.
Look, the Rams,
I'm there.
Rams are one of the hottest teams in football right now. They've won 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of the last 9 games. This isn't the same team that we saw in week 2. When they had those injuries, we boat raced them.
And this is a team that is going to be hungry. They're going to want to beat the shit out of us to prove a point.
I think they're by far the best team in our division. If you're looking at it, who's playing the best right now, who's got the quarterback, to be able to do it, the experience with the wide receiver core. Puka Nacua, man, that guy's a fucking stud. I want to hate them and him, but for what he's done here in barely year 2. Hopefully we can see some of that, out of Marv next season.
Yeah, it's just incredibly frustrating to know that we could have had this division on lock by now if we had just played smarter football. I mean, I'm looking at, the spacing for the route tree and in the Patriots game, and it looks like a fucking 2021 Westbrook era Lakers spacing. It's abysmal. It's so fucking bad. You shouldn't have everything cramped in that tight, my man. Oh my god.
Thankfully, we do have the Panthers. They rank 32nd dead last in the league in points against and 31st in the league in yards.
32nd game.
Dead last in rushing yards given up. So if there was ever a game to get right, the Panthers have played in a lot of close games recently, but after a while you keep losing those close games, and then you see what happens against Dallas. The locker room could be lost there in Carolina, so the Cardinals come in and got to step on their throats early, and hopefully you can get in a little bit of a rhythm.
Here's my counterpoint. There have been better Cardinals teams that have lost to worse Panthers teams.
Have there been worse Panther teams that we've lost to?
I mean, that Cam year was that Cam comeback year was pretty abysmal for them.
Yeah, that was fucking bad.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Right?
Yeah. But I feel like the Panthers at this point in the game, they just need to be worried about climbing up the draft board rather than trying to win, a couple of bullshit games that don't matter.
Amen.
But Will, if we lose to the Panthers, I'm going to fly out to North Carolina and kick your ass.
Well, why don't you fly out to North Carolina and watch the game with me, and we can all be happy?
Whoa.
Oh, what
Hello.
are you doing,
Watch out,
Will?
Colby.
I do want to shout him out real quick. He says May looked okay. Need more help. Travis Hunter is coming soon.
They're not getting him.
And he says, Ayo. And I do want to give a shout to Classy Nasty. He was actually in the stream before we went live. Feed me, Starvin Marvin Jr. We're trying. I feel like we're trying. It's just, it's the rookie growing pains. I feel like he'll have a better go at it his sophomore season. But, this is year 2 of a new offense for the Cardinals. Now we've added this weapon that, is fresh out of college. So hopefully we can get something going next season. But honestly, I kind of hope we get a better, offensive coordinator, but we'll see.
Do you think, that's what I was going to get at, do you think Drew Petzing will be the OC next year?
I hope
if
not.
We lose out, maybe not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shut up, Bo Bobbles. Trey Benson has
Bo Wobbles, what up?
Eno's return time. Get out of here with your Eno Benjamin agenda.
Eno needs to get ready to learn Chinese.
Yeah, then we learned today that Paris Johnson's gonna be missing this week, so that's gonna be a tough blow. He's had his some rough moments there at left tackle this year, but for the most part, he's been super steady.
I will say there is a bright side to that. If there was ever a week for that to happen, it's a good one to have, because the Panthers D line is decimated right now.
That's good to know. Jackie, how is it having your little girl back? I saw you posted that she just turned 3.
Yeah, it was her 3rd birthday on Tuesday. It's been a blast. And it was funny because we were stranded in Ohio during our layover, so I was like trying to find
That's the worst place
to
be stranded.
It was. I was trying to find a stream, couldn't find a stream, but we were kind of watching a little bit of the Lions-Bills game. And I said, who's going to win, the Detroit Lions or the Buffalo Bills? She goes, the Buffalo Bills. Sure enough, they won. Nice. And I said, who's going to win, the New England Patriots or the Arizona Cardinals? She goes, Cardinals. So I might have a Peas Pick'ems segment coming up.
Shit.
Tell her I need her picks.
I hear a future gambling addict in her future.
Tell her, give her my FanDuel info.
Right.
Yeah, all of your gambles are gambling advice comes from a 3-year-old. What's up, Donnie?
That's better from some of the people from Twitter.
Right. Donnie, how do you pronounce it? I'm gonna botch your last name. Is it Druin?
Donnie Druin.
Druin. Mac and Kaiser potentially being out too makes for a very interesting game. Yeah, this is gonna be shit because our injury report is not looking good. Paris is gonna be out. Mac and Kaiser. Trey's got an ankle, so
we're gonna see what kind of depth we have at the linebacker position. That's for sure. Right. Considering how many injuries we've had, it's hard to argue with this defense. And you feel like if there's any coach on this staff that's going to get a raise this offseason or be looked at as a possible future head coach, it's got to be Nick Rawls, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean his ability to get that much out of that defense is insane. I don't know how likely it is for him to get a head coaching job this offseason, just given some of the candidates that are out there.
Probably not. He's still super young.
Especially with Ben Johnson still on the board. I mean, that's going to be the belle of the ball for everybody this offseason. But I can see a future where, if he keeps it up over the next year or two, he could be the next head coach of somebody.
Agreed.
Yeah, so if anybody's going to get a call, not this off season, it'll definitely be Nick. I do want to highlight, because I was telling Will, so I didn't watch the game. I was looking at the box score, and I'm like, these numbers aren't crazy terrible, like, for Kyler. I know everybody was crying about that crazy interception that he threw that didn't count. I asked Colby. He said it's just kind of an average game for him. But man, Twitter made it seem like we were fucking getting our shit kicked in, and I thought, oh great, so let me go to my phone, and I'm like, oh, we're like winning 30-10. Weird.
Yeah, it was just the way it was playing out. There was the Patriots had an opportunity, and the balls did bounce our way. We had a fumble recovery by offensive lineman Jonah Williams in the back of the end zone. Another foot, Patriots get the ball right there. And then if that wasn't a rough in the passer, if they didn't, rough Kyler up right there, and that was an interception, that's a possibly 14-point swing. That just, things that went right for us. But I mean, I don't know. For me, it's just passing game. Other than Trey McBride, you really have nothing going right there. There's not a lot of hope for the future other than Marvin Harrison. I still think he's going to be a great wide receiver for us, but Greg Dortch has shown some flashes, and so is Michael Wilson, but I don't necessarily think that those are the guys who are going to be number 2 and number 3s on a playoff type football team, next year. So there has to be some things that need to change up. Zay Jones just has not worked out. I didn't think I wasn't that hyped about that signing anyways, but it's always tough trying to bring in wide receivers off the market, and as it is.
I'm hoping that we flex our draft capital in the upcoming year, because Garrett Wilson wants out of New York. Tyreek might want out of Miami. There's all sorts of avenues open if we were to want to let our draft capital swing and just get somebody on the market instead of relying on the draft. But
see, I thought about that too, with with all these potential trade scenarios, and I don't know if Monty's the type of GM that wants to give up draft capital. But not a wide receiver, but a Micah Parsons might be on the trade block.
But see, I feel like we're getting enough out of this defense that I think, if we can improve it marginally, we'll be fine. I think if we get offensive skill position players, I think we're in a much better spot. Because right now we're looking at what? Greg Dortch, Michael Wilson for the number 2 wide receiver. That's not optimal.
Yeah, and you still got to keep building the line. That's what Austin Fort's MO has been. Where he was recently the Patriots and the Titans. They build out offensive lines. I think that's going to still be a focus moving forward. Whether it's offense, defense, you still got to keep building, because there's injuries that happen every single year, and teams' depth just it's a bright light on those teams that don't have the necessary depth. And Kyler was looking at his best this year. The offensive line was playing very well, and it just seems like the offensive line hasn't been as great. And he's just, to me, he needs to be a rhythm type quarterback to be successful. But in my eyes, he's always been more of a gunslinger. Guy goes back there. You don't see a lot of hot routes, 3-4 step drops, ball gets out. Other than when we're, in probably like a 2-minute drill or 3-minute drill, that's when he, tends to amp up the tempo and then get a better rhythm there. But
was it you guys? Sorry, go. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Was it you guys I was talking to, or weird? But I still talk to my ex-husband. We have a child, but we always talk Cardinals as well. But was it you guys, or was it him saying?
Yeah, you're talking about
Kyler's good with no huddle offense, hurry up offense.
I think we were talking about that. Was that last week or the week before, maybe?
Yeah, then it was last week. It was you guys that. Yeah, we haven't seen the no huddle hurry up until it's garbage time. You're trying to come back and win. A little too late. Yeah. So I kind of missed that from the Cliff era.
Yeah, that was definitely. I was just going to say that. That's when I felt he was in his best rhythm with Cliff, as well as when they were in that no huddle or hurry up. Not necessarily even a hurry up, but just not as much in the huddle to get more of a rhythm for him. And it's disappointing that here we are entering week 16 and Trey McBride still has 0 touchdowns on the year. And heading into the NFL from college, that was a knock on Trey McBride. I think he had just a handful of touchdowns at Colorado State. But so that is something that needs to be worked on and improved next year for this team to get to the playoffs.
Yeah,
this. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm not quite ready. I know a lot of people are ready to move off of Kyler, but I still see the potential. And if we can just figure out a better passing game, I think we'll be in a lot better shape. So hopefully, with
I think you give him at least one more year.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to.
You really have to at this point.
Yeah, there's no reason not to. You're not gonna. I mean, as much as like the Sam Darnold's enter and you see a lot of these retread quarterbacks, I still think our best bet to win next year is Kyler and get him, a little bit more weapons around him. A lot of fans get hyped in the offseason, and we saw it here. We talked about it before the season started, how we were seeing people say this is the best talent, on the offense, and I just was like, what are we looking at the same thing? Sure, there's Trey McBride, James Conner's maybe a top 10 running back. He's not a guy you start your franchise around. He's a good running back. He's a guy you want, on third down and near the goal line and everything. But I'd have plenty of other, running backs ahead of him personally. And then you look at the wide receiver core. Michael Wilson has not entering this year hasn't proved to me to be a number 2 that he was slotted in. And there's a lot of question marks about Greg Dortch. We all love Greg Dortch, but can he do it for a full year? Can he back up all the talk the fans have been saying that just give him playing time and he's going to pop, and he hasn't popped. And maybe that's not a lot on him. His targets just aren't there either. You look at his box score and there's just a couple targets a game, but he not a lot of memorable moments from Greg Dortch or Michael Wilson's has some moments and he's still really young, but I think we need some more depth there. And not just someone like a Zay Jones who's maybe had one good year and 2 good years in the past.
Okay, so I feel like this is the perfect time to hit you guys with my it could be worse.
Do it.
Let's go down south to the beautiful city of Atlanta, Georgia, where there is a quarterback controversy brewing this late in the fucking season. They have benched their $90 million guaranteed quarterback for Michael Penix.
Michael Penis.
That's right.
Well,
Yeah.
Michael Penix, when he was asked about, when he learned about it, said he found out in the line at Costco where he was getting a $1.50 hot dog and said, quote, "I lost my appetite after finding out."
I don't
sleep
think
the hot dog.
like he got sick or anything afterwards, but
No, the excitement, I'm sure,
right.
but
Yeah, I mean, we all saw the Falcons offseason. They signed Kirk Cousins and then they draft Penix where they did right there, and they got a lot of criticism for it, and kind of rightfully so. When you want a guy to be the stopgap, you don't guarantee $90 million fucking dollars when you're going to invest, a top 10 pick or whatever it was on a quarterback. So yeah, there's a lot of head shaking going on in Atlanta, but from afar, I don't think a lot of us are surprised. It's not the best organization,
I still think it's
an organization, so believe me.
I still think it's hilarious just how stupid they were with their trades. They refused to trade down 1 pick with the Bears because they thought they might take Penix. They thought the Chicago Bears might take Michael Penix.
woof.
Well, and Caleb Williams hasn't been a godsend over there, either way. I'm curious to see what Penix has. I mean, they got some weapons there. You have Bijan Robinson, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts. He's on the verge of being a bust. So he has a little bit of weapons there. So it's gonna be interesting to
Kyle Pitts is like if Justin Herbert was a tight end.
What do you mean?
Potential man.
Or Herbert's way better than fucking Kyle Pitts.
Oh, I know, but it's always if.
Yeah.
Same thing with Herbert. Same thing with Pitts.
Herbert's currently leading an 8-6 team when everyone thought they were going to be pretty garbage this year. So they don't really have some no-name receivers out there. You got a rookie and McConkey and Quentin Johnson. they get rid of their best receivers, and they're still, doing work. But I mean, I do think Kyle Pitts is probably going to, at the end of the day, he'll be a bust. He's going to have this last chance, really, with Michael Penix, and it's going to be interesting to see it. That's a team that I have money on not making the playoffs, so I'm hoping that we see some rookie jitters from the kid.
Speaking of segments, I do have to give a big dick player.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you. I appreciate it. Watching the
Michael
game,
Pilardi.
I was in California over the weekend on Sunday. We were heading home, and I'm like, yeah, I'll just sit in the back seat and watch the game. So that was fun watching the Cardinal game off my phone. That was so thank you for the Big Dick Player of the Week award, Jackie. Good night, folks.
You're absolutely welcome. You're gonna have to share the trophy with Sean Murphy Bunting.
Woo!
No, I'm kidding. That's not my big dick player of the game. It's got to be none other than James Conner for running all over the Patriots defense. And I saw he broke away for like a 53-yard touchdown for a guy that's not, a speedster, if you will.
Yeah, no, he looked like he had some life in him. Very good game in him.
Yeah, 110 yards rushing. Yep, 53 yards. So yeah, I mean it's good to see.
It was a get right game for him.
I criticized him a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
When we needed him against Seattle and Minnesota, he had a couple decent runs in that Minnesota game. I think one in particular, but only like for 15 yards or something. But other than that, I mean, coming out of the bye, I was disappointed in how he's looked until these last 2 weeks. So, and it's going to be a great chance for him to keep stacking up the rushing yards and touchdowns against the worst rush defense in the NFL in Carolina.
Yeah, if I'm going to make any predictions, it's going to be another big James Conner game.
Yeah.
And I did criticize him, have some criticisms a little bit too, given that we just extended him and he's kind of been a non-factor these last 3 weeks. So I'm glad to see that he had a good game Sunday.
This is Will's. Please don't gamble, but if you do pick this pick of the week, James Conner, anytime touchdown, baby.
Oh, that's got to be what?
What about a Trey McBride anytime touchdown?
Was that?
So that's got to be like a minus 160 or some shit.
I don't fucking know.
I put him down for 2 touchdowns. How about that?
Ooh. I would not do that.
Why?
Because we're stinky. We stink.
Because you're a Panthers fan. That's right.
You're stinky.
Ain't wrong.
No, and James Conner, to his credit, he has been a viable receiver out of the backfield. That's, he doesn't get a lot of, notoriety for that, but 5 catches this last week. But to see him come through, to be kind of another safety blanket for Kyler, because he's got at least 3 catches in 1, 2, 3 in each of his last 6 weeks of football. So, and before that, he only had 3 catches twice in the first 7 games of the year, if my counting in my head is correct. So to see him, bigger part of the passing game, that's, you love to see that if you're a fantasy owner and in the playoffs like I am. Let's go, Connor. Let's go, baby. Take me to the prize.
I am going to give my full disclosure. I am retaining my title of Player Hater of the Year 2024. I put 2 bets against your Arizona Cardinals this week.
Yeah.
Silky Johnson, Player Hater of the Year over here.
Hate.
But we need this. We need all the Will negativity. We need all the Will reverse jinx. This is how the Cardinals win games.
And I'm just real quick. So just going back, those last 6 games I've talked about, James Conner has caught 25 of 26 pass targets over that span.
That's nice.
Too. I didn't even see that, but I'm looking over here. 100%, 75, 100. So yeah, I mean, he's another safety blanket right there, and that's a great way to get an extension of the run game as well. And my more criticism is I need to see more than just James Conner in the backfield next year. That workhorse back, unless you're a Derrick Henry or something like that.
Mac. I know just the guy.
Trey Benson.
No.
Cam
Genty is not coming to Arizona, pal. We have luck getting Scattaboo than we have Genty.
Heck yeah. Give me
I'm
Scat.
sure that UDFA signing we're gonna place on Scattaboo is gonna hit like fucking pot,
Scattaboo's like a young
crack,
James
man.
Conner, though. They're fucking both monsters. He'd be a good guy to kind of learn from. I mean, similar type back. You probably want, more of a. Trey Benson's more of a speedster than James Conner, so I like that, matchup between those two. But we just don't see enough of Trey Benson. I mean, he had 5 carries this last game before getting hurt, and it sounds like he's on the IR. Is he out for the year now?
Who, Benson?
Yeah. Have we heard anything, or was that a dream?
I know DeMarcado is.
Yeah, DeMarcado's on the IR.
Did Trey Benson
I haven't heard anything about Benson.
Here's the Theo Mackey posted. This is the play which Trey Benson suffered his right ankle injury on Sunday.
Oof.
So this week, I mean, Tyler Drake on the AZ Sports. Quite a few names missing from Arizona's Cardinals practice on Thursday, and that's not a good sign at all. When guys miss practice on Thursday, they typically do not play. But Paris Johnson, Kaiser White, Trey Benson, Mac Wilson, Senior, Elijah Jones, Jesse Lucetta. So yeah.
So is that going to be Beecham at left tackle then?
That probably would make sense, right? Yeah, he's that swing guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be showing my ignorance here. Does that mean DJ Dallas is our backup running back this week?
He is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But they elevate Michael Carter.
I know they elevated somebody. I don't remember who it was though.
You said Michael Carter's not on our practice squad, is he?
Yeah. No, he just got. Or was it him or Tony Jones that was on our practice squad? I don't even remember.
What is Michael Carter? Somebody smarter than me. Put it in the chat. Well, I Google it. See
Somebody more sober than me, please do that.
What are you drinking?
Yeah,
I had a shot of like a heavy,
little white wine.
Heavy proof whiskey.
Yeah, you gotta lie to us. It's just me, Jackie, and 100 friends. We're all good.
No, it was some.
You got a lot of chill, Craig.
It was
okay,
a
Colby,
shot of.
Saying he sucks doesn't count. We need to know if he's on the practice squad or not.
What are you talking about?
He said Carter
Michael
sucks.
Carter?
Yeah.
No, I want to see more DJ Dallas though.
I do.
I mean, he's a guy who's got running back experience. What up?
Didn't he get the Pro Bowl nod?
What?
I thought I saw that somewhere. Am I high? Like as a special returner?
I mean, I don't think Pro Bowl votes are out yet, are they?
Then I'm high.
Yeah.
No, let's see. Anyways, moving along. Jackie, you sipping on anything?
Nope, I gotta stay sober since there is a child in my presence. But I do want to talk about. Well, first, what are you drinking?
That Keith Stone. So shout out Keith Stone. $10 15 pack. Can't beat that.
I remember when I played beer pong in high school. I see you.
I remember my first beer.
I remember my first beer. No, but speaking of extensions, Buda Baker.
Yeah, we haven't
Cardinal
talked
for the
about
next
that
3 years.
Actually, a surprisingly cheap extension for what it's worth. I thought he'd cost a lot more than that.
Yeah, I thought he would demand a little more money, given that he's second in the league in tackles. But I saw some people not with the extension. What do you guys think?
I mean, I think you got to pay the man.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's an overpay. I mean, you're paying for one of the best. He's not a ball hawk. Like, he's not Adrian Wilson type guy back there. But I mean, he's Adrian Wilson in the physicality aspect, but he's not going to get you 4 or 5 interceptions in the year or whatever. But he's a heartbeat and the pulse of this defense specifically and team. So yeah, I mean, you got to bring him back. You don't bring him back and he goes elsewhere. That's your biggest hole heading into next season. So retain him. I hope he's on the next great Arizona Cardinals team, and for 3 years he can stomach it. So even if people might look at it as an overpay here in year 3, that's fine. I think it is what it is. Next year, the year after, for sure, he's locked in as a Cardinal, and he's still in his prime.
Yeah,
I know, because I would really hate to get hot next year and have like a good run and Buda Baker not be a part of the team.
I never really understood the whole premise of getting Darian to replace Buddha, because I think when you have somebody who's that productive, who brings that much energy and that much to the team, you got to do everything in your power to keep him. I think that he's still at an age where he can produce. He's still producing at a high level. I don't know why anybody in their right mind was saying that we should get rid of him. I like it.
Sorry
Yeah,
if
what
you
do you
hear
think
my
about it,
child
Jackie?
crying. Huh?
What do you think? What do you think about it?
Oh, absolutely. You keep them from all the intangibles. You know, the heart and soul of this team. Someone that has been with us when we've been down and out, and still tries to bring the energy and bring the intensity, even when the season's lost. So, of course, you got to bring him back, dude.
Yep. And then next on the to-do list is probably going to be, I mean, a big contract would probably be Trey McBride, because he's a free agent after 2026. So, I mean, that's down the road here a little bit. I mean, there are other guys, that we're going to have to figure out sooner or later. But to get Buda Baker locked in, you can't be mad at that if you're a Cardinal fan, in my opinion.
And I like the amount of flexibility it gives us in the cap for next year, because I think we still have a lot left to use after signing him.
Yeah, we did, that Austin Ford has done a great job of acquiring keeping our cap space, extending the guys that we want to extend, and having some room to play around with next year. So, he's been criticized for not picking up big name free agents, but I'm like, this is what you really want out of a real GM, not a Steve Keim. That, if this was a Keim ran organization, would have been gone. Would have been gone years ago.
And let's be frank here. If you're these days, if you're a free agent, it just means you don't have the pull to be traded. Free agency doesn't mean as much as it used to. So I'm not really crying over the spilt milk that is, oh, we didn't get Kirk Cousins in free agency. We didn't get whatever. And it's like, who cares?
No, we saw that with Keim, man. He blew his wad on fucking older injury-prone vets, and more times than not, they fucking bit him in the fucking ass. So, I'm fine building it. I feel like we're building it the right way. But until you're in winning playoff games, you're gonna have people talking shit. That's just the way it is. And hopefully year 3 will be a little bit different. We can have a little consistency down the stretch here, and not have to rely on other teams losing out and us winning out with a month to go in the season. But sooner or later, you're going to have to start winning playoff games. At the end of the day, that's really the only thing that matters. And in the NFL, if you don't win playoff games, 4 years into being a GM, you're probably not going to get that 5th year, I feel like, more times than not. So within these next 2 years, we're going to have to, hopefully see the fruits of this labor going in there, because we talked about it all last year. The foundation has been set. It's settling, built. Still building around it, but for the most part, that foundation has been set with guys that were drafted or brought in here by Monty Ossenfort without having to overpay.
Absolutely.
I think I've got nothing else as far as the agenda of topics.
I wanted to introduce a new segment this week. I was telling these guys about it. Some little inside baseball. I was telling these guys about it in the group chat. I was going to call it Behind Enemy Lines, where I would listen to the radio broadcasts of the team we were facing in the upcoming week and get a sense of what they're saying, and just try to figure out, okay, what are their concerns? How are they feeling about it? But they only touched on the Panthers once, and it was like, we've got a bad D line, we suck, we stink, wah. And it's just like, well, shit, I can't work with that. That's nothing.
That sounds like Arizona Cardinals sports talk in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah, no, I mean, they spent basically every segment I listened to talking about UNC basketball, and UNC football. And it's like, if you're so shitty that they're talking about bad college basketball, then what are you doing?
Yep, that's
You're
the life of a Carolina Panthers fan.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I have to kind of speed run if you want to do pick'ems because my kid's losing it.
You just want to do the Cardinals game again? Jackie, you won last week.
I did. Hell yeah.
Yep.
You were the only one who picked the Cardinals.
You sure did.
Hold
Let's just do the Cardinals.
Fuck you guys.
Make it a short week. Are we jumping on next week or no with Christmas? Or is it anti-American to say Christmas? I'm sorry. But.
Okay. No, I'm good with skipping next week. If you guys are, I've got a busy week.
Yeah.
I can go either way.
Well, we know that, Will. We know you can go.
We know you go both ways, Will.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's just do the Cardinals right now. It's called a short week. I hear Will's probably walking about 1.5 miles from his house right now. So
I'm so far away.
All right, I'm jumping back on the Cardinals bandwagon. Last week I was pissed, just fucking mad, and like couldn't get myself to fucking pick the Cardinals just because just how they let great opportunity after great opportunity after great opportunity go through their fingers against Seattle twice and Minnesota. But going against the Panthers, they've played a lot tougher. Bryce Young has actually looked like semi-promising. Adam Thielen, is a guy that the Cardinals are going to have to try to lock down. But at the end of the day, I think James Conner is going to be too much with this run game. And hopefully Kyler Murray, I'm predicting an Arizona Cardinals victory with a Trey McBride. I haven't done this yet. First time Trey McBride, TD, and James Conner 2 TDs. Writing this down. 1 TD, Conner 2. And we're going to have a 31-16 victory Cardinals.
I'm going Cardinals 27-12.
There is bad juju in the air. There are bad vibes all around me.
Put deodorant on, Will. That's the bad juju right there, stank ass.
Shut the fuck up.
Stank ass hoe. Double
It's
hoe.
going to be a nice, cool 35 degrees at kickoff.
Ooh.
I don't think we do particularly well in cold weather games.
Yeah,
35 degrees, even colder than Green Bay. I am expecting a low-scoring, ugly affair. I am expecting it to be 20-10 Panthers.
Oh, you fucking suck. Boo! Boo this man! Boo this man! Boo! Fuck you.
I regret nothing.
We know. College things.
College things.
We good?
We're good.
I think
Take
so.
a shot, Will.
This has been another spectacular episode of the Redbird Redzone podcast. My name is Will. I'm going to be chilling in the 35-degree weather on Sunday. You can find me on Twitter at LiveOnThatSwing.
Yo, I'm Mac. Thank you guys for joining us. You can find me on Twitter at AZSportsFien. That's FIEN.
And I'm Jackie. You can find me on Twitter at JSanDiego. That is with 2 O's, and we are out.
Later.